here we go. Let's start by doing this right now. Let's start by cleaning out the area. I'm about to do some painting here. Welcome everybody to my easel and my art studio. It is super awesome to have you guys join this little painting session, this little painting demo. It's a demo. It's not necessarily a class, although many artists have asked me for classes, and those classes are coming out. Painting classes, little painting workshops. Artists have been asking me, hey, can you do a painting workshop, dude? I want to learn how to paint in your style. Cool. There's not much to learn. It's more about letting go. It's not necessarily like do it like this or do it like that. I mean, sure you can, you know. I see a lot of artists who are like, I'm going to paint just like him. It's a good thing and it's not. Because I'm sort of making a name for myself painting like this. So if you paint just like me, people are going to be like, oh, you paint just like Jose. So it might not serve you all that well, right? It might not serve you to paint just like me. It might be a good thing to learn some things and then apply them, right? But it just might not. Unless you're trying to flatter me, then by all means. What I've learned about painting is that painting is like what the great Bruce Lee used to talk about. It was like what he called a Jeet Kune Do style of self-defense or fighting or something like that. Painting is very much the same way. The way he referred to it is that everybody has that. That there was nothing that you needed to learn from him directly other than the principles, so that you get your own thing out of you and express it. Otherwise, I failed you. If you're trying to paint just like me, I failed you. I know I failed a few dozen people out there. There's a lot of people out there that are painting exactly. Well, they're not exactly, but they're using like the exact same brush stroke and the exact same thing. And I know I failed them. I know I failed them because they haven't gotten their stuff, and they've been doing it for years now. It's not like they just started. And I know that I failed them, or they failed me, or they failed themselves. I don't know, but they haven't gotten that out of them yet. You know, their own thing. I don't know if they ever will, because they're stuck trying to paint like me, right? And so that's not going to help you. What's going to help you is using the principles that I'm talking about here. The don't think while you're painting. Use the things that you do know. Use the knowledge that you already have. You don't need to go seek new knowledge, right? Use the knowledge that you already have. If you've been an artist for a while, use the knowledge that you already have, and then stop thinking so much so that the good stuff comes out. Right? If you're thinking so much about it, you are trying to paint like someone. So that someone could be that someone in your mind. You're trying to paint like a certain way, and that's very tricky. That's very difficult to do if you're an artist, because it never comes out, right? It's only when you let go. I'm not gonna stop barking about this. It's only when you let go that you actually start creating real art. And I'm telling you, those people out there that are trying to just mimic my style, you're not creating art yet. Even if it looks just like mine, you're not creating art yet, because it's not coming out of you. You're fixated on an idea of how I paint, and that's not yours, right? You need to dig in deeper. You need to go deeper and find that in you. Find that thing. You need to go deeper inside of yourself. And the way you dive deep is you stop thinking so much, right? You stop thinking so much. I have little practices that I do, little mantras, if you will, that I do when I paint. And one of them is, I don't know, which is a very old one. It's very ancient. It's a very ancient mantra. I don't know. And you just repeat that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And you just keep it. You can even verbalize it as you're painting. I don't know. You say, I don't know. Why? Because the mind keeps fucking with you. The mind keeps asking these questions like, oh, should I add this green there? And what's your answer? I don't know. Right? I don't know. Should I, oh man, I don't know if the shadow is purple enough. What's your answer? I don't know. It's an excellent mantra to learn how to let go. Is the painting, did I draw the painting well enough? What's your answer? I don't know. You get the point, right? That's one mantra. Another mantra comes right out of A Course in Miracles, which is this does not mean anything, right? This does not mean anything. Why? Because you're disidentifying from the bullshit. That's all you're really doing. You're disidentifying from the idea of what the painting needs to look like. One day I'm going to do a course. We're going to call it Zen painting or some shit like that. Zen painting. Painting in peace. Let's call it that. Painting in a state of peace, right? Not painting in joy. Painting in joy, you're still thinking about pretty little birds and pretty little trees. I want to paint in peace, right? When you paint in peace, is you've totally surrendered to the moment, to the painting itself. You surrender to it. You're not trying to do anything. Everything that you're doing is good. It's good enough. You're not trying to do anything. You're not trying. You're doing. You're not trying. And so these are the kind of things that I try to share with people. You know, how's it going, Kelly? Good to see you here. These are the kind of things I'm trying to share with people. Look, guys, if you are trying to create something original, stop trying. You don't need to create something original. Whatever you do is original already. The thing between you and originality is that you're thinking too much. That's all. Okay, the thing between you and originality is that you're thinking too much. You overthink every process. If I had $1 every time an artist tells me, how many times do I prime it? How do you mix this color? How do you mix that color? If I had $1 every time I was asked that. By artists who have been painting already. I'm not talking about newbies, right? Newbies will always ask that. That's fine. That's part of learning. But by artists who have been painting, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years even, they still ask those questions. And I know why they're asking those questions. I know exactly why. They don't believe in what they're doing. And the only reason they don't believe in what they're doing is because they're overthinking everything. There's a necessity to overthink. It's almost like imagining that if you overthink the situation, somehow you're going to paint better, and it is the opposite. The more you overthink the situation, the shittier you will paint. And I'm not talking about shittier in the sense of what the culture thinks or society thinks or whatever. No, you are going to feel bad about what you're painting. That's what I'm talking about. You are going to feel bad. Some people tell me, oh my God, you paint with such freedom and confidence, right? You paint with such freedom and confidence. And that's because every day when I paint, part of my practice is not just painting, it's surrendering to my idea of painting. The practice is surrendering to the idea. That is the practice. The practice is not, did I get that blue right or that purple? That's not the practice. A fucking monkey can do that. That's not the practice. There's elephants that paint. Have you guys seen those videos? Anyone can paint. The practice is it's not did I do the color right or did I do the form right? Sure, in the beginning that it feels like that's the practice, because in the beginning your ABCs, that's normal, that's natural. But after you've been painting for a while, that is not the practice. The practice is you got to stop thinking so much about what you're doing. And you got to get yourself into a position where where you have complete command of what you're doing, even if it's messy. It is my belief that some of the best artists in the world have been very messy. All you gotta do is just visit a gallery, a museum, an old artist, any old artist, any Monet, any Renoir, any Goya, any of those artists. All you gotta do is just visit and see the paintings and see how messy they were. Why? Because there was confidence. If there's confidence, there's a lot of mess. Why? Because it doesn't matter, right? How many times would you paint if you knew? How many times would you paint? How often would you paint if you knew that every fucking painting you did was a winner, was a gem? Just think about that for a second. How many times and how often would you paint if you knew that every single time you painted, you created a masterpiece? Not to the world, to you. That every time you painted, you were making a masterpiece. How often would you paint? How much more would you paint? How messy would you be? Some people say that I'm a messy painter. I kind of like that. To me, it's a compliment. I know what it means. I've been at it long enough to know what it means. How messy would you be? How prolific would you be if you knew that every single time? Imagine that you had a little machine that every time you put in $1, you got $2 back. You got $2 back. How many times would you put $1 in that little machine? It's the same thing with your painting. A lot of artists they stay with a painting for a long time because they're not trusting it. They don't trust it. They don't trust the painting, right? They don't trust themselves. Part of being I see a lot of memes that say there's only two people share this memes. They say there's only 2 feelings. I see a lot of artists sharing this bullshit. There's only 2 feelings an artist has. Oh, I'm the greatest, or oh, I'm horrible. I'm not really good enough. That's not true. That has never been true. That has more to do with the idea of... Look, if you're an artist who wants to make a name for yourself, or you want to sell your artwork and whatever, don't confuse the two. Marketing is one thing, and creating artwork is completely different. It's 2 different things. Don't confuse the two. You will get confused. If people are not buying your artwork and you're not selling it or you're not exhibiting it, you will end up believing that your artwork sucks because you don't know how to market. It's 2 different things. Don't get them confused. Painting is one thing. Marketing it, selling it, promoting it, having people enjoy it, share it, and even buy it is a completely different. It's a completely different thing. It's a whole other thing. You know, it's got nothing to do with your talent. It's got nothing to do with your believe in yourself or whatever. It's a completely different skill set. It's a completely different thing. It requires you to learn a few other things, right? Not just learn how to paint. I used to get very confused. I used to think, oh my God, people don't like my paintings. Oh my God, I feel so bad. Maybe my paintings aren't that good. That's why they're not selling. No. After years of doing it, I started realizing why. Shit, man, people are not buying them because people ain't seeing them. Once I learned how to market and I started learning how to use advertisement and things like that, right? And I went past my fears and I started spending some energy and even some money on ads and whatnot. Then I started understanding how that thing worked. Okay? It's a different beast. So I see a lot of artists getting that confused. They keep talking about, oh man, your paintings have to be really well in order for them to sell. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's a bunch of bullshit. If that were true, Rothko would have never sold any painting, or Pollock would have never sold any painting. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm saying society did not think they were good when they came out with it. That Monet would have never sold a single painting in his life. Society did not think Monet was good. Society thought Monet was a joke. And all of his gang, right? So for people to say that you have to be good, that's not true. Your artwork doesn't even have to be remotely good in order for you to sell it. It's a completely different topic. How many of you have seen very horrible work sell at millions of dollars, thousands, or whatever? It's a completely different topic. Really beautiful work, barely ever getting $1. You know? A couple $100 for a exquisite painting. Why do we see that? Because it's a different conversation. It has nothing to do with the artwork. Look at that. And so I see a lot of artists getting very sad and saying, "Man, I can't sell my artwork. My artwork must not be good." And when I coach artists, this is one of the very first things that I tell them: do not believe that lie. It has nothing to do with your artwork. It's got everything to do with the market. The market does not respect you if the market does not see you. The market only respects that which the market sees. Attention will always be respected by the market. Okay, attention will always be respected by the market. The market will always respect attention. No attention, no money. No sales, no exhibits. This is why some of the best artists have spent most of their money and energy on gathering attention. This is how Damien Hirst, British guy, I think he's British, Damien Hirst, the guy who put the shark in formaldehyde, that's how he made a name for himself. He got a lot of attention, right? Putting that shark in that tank. Got a lot of attention. This is how the guy who did Obey, or what's his name, Shepard Fairey, that's how he made it. It's not because his art is great or meaningful. His art is just as meaningful as any other of the 100 artists in any big city that were doing exactly the same thing he was doing. It's just that he did more of it. He got more attention than the rest. And that's why we know who Shepard Fairey is, as opposed to some other artists who might have been a much better artist than him. You know, life is not fair. Life is very fucking fair when it comes to that. The victory will always go to the person who gets the most attention. Life doesn't reward intention. Right? It doesn't reward intention. Like, oh man, I wanted to do that. Good for you. Did you do it though? Right? Life doesn't reward intent. Like, nobody gets rewarded for having a good intention. Like, oh man, I wanted to exercise. Can I get the 6-pack abs now? I didn't want to exercise. Okay, good. Like, I'm glad that you wanted to. You know, life is very black and white when it comes to those kinds of things, right? It's extremely gray in its existence, but in its reward, it's very black and white. Right? When it comes to rewarding, it seems to be very black and white. And so this is why a lot of artists, we get confused. We're like, oh man, people don't like my artwork. No, dude, people don't know your artwork. Right? People don't know your artwork. It's not that they don't like it. It's that they don't know it. You've barely shown it to a couple of people on Instagram or on Facebook, or no, that's not true. I show my artwork all the time. To who? To the 500 people that follow you on Facebook? It's not enough, right? You need thousands, millions of people to see your artwork for it to start catching some fire. This is why Monet didn't start becoming well known until later in his life, right? Exhibit after exhibit after exhibit after exhibit, and then it started catching fire. Oh man, it's like a painting and a lecture all at the same time. Painting and a lecture. I try to kill a couple of birds with the same stone, guys, because I get a lot of questions on my DM. It's happening on my DM from artists who are like, man, I'm not getting any traction, and I'm like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, they're like, oh man, I've been painting so much. I'm like, no, no, what are you doing to get traction? Well, yeah, I've been painting a lot, man. I've been painting really, I've been taking classes and color theory, and I'm like, dude, that has nothing to do with your traction. You'll never gain traction. I don't care if you paint like Michelangelo. No one's gonna care, dude. I don't care that you paint like Caravaggio. No one's gonna care. That's not how this game works. You could be the next Rembrandt, and if you're not seen, it don't matter that you're the next Rembrandt, or you're the next Andy Warhol, or whatever you want to be. You got to be seen. Rule number 1, create the artwork. Rule number 2, be seen. And all the rules after number 2 refer back to rule number 2. Always. Always refer back to rule number 2. Be seen. There it is, guys. Look at that. Man, I'm good. My name is Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist. And if you like this little session, if you like this little painting, you're going to love what I'm about to tell you. This painting is going to be available on my eBay shop. Okay? And the painting, the auction is going to start at 99 cents. This is a 16 by 20 inches oil on canvas, stretch canvas. Check it out. You can hang as this, or you can put a little frame if you want to, or I can put a frame for you if you want me to. I do a lot of that as well. Thank you so much for watching. The link is in my profile. If you want to go check out my auctions, you're more than welcome to. Maybe you're an artist and you're like, man, what can I learn from this cat? Maybe you can go see that. Or just go see. I don't know. Maybe you'll buy something. Maybe you'll bid on it. I don't know. Click on that bid. Bid on it. The prices are just stupid amazing. So there it is. Look, there's my signature. Look out for that signature, okay? Because there's a lot of cats trying to do what I'm doing. They're not me. Look out for that signature. It looks like a 7 and a dash. Boom. Look at that. Thank you so much, everybody. My name's Jose Trujillo once again, and I appreciate you guys being around town, checking my artwork out in my studio. Yeah, let's do a little tour of the studio. Why not? Because people are like, dude, what's your studio like? My studio is super awesome. Check it out. Busy, 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 busy. My studio is very busy. It's just that I'm here right now. Look, there's a bathroom over there. Way at the end. All right, guys, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.